Just so everybody knows, we began this episode on time. Everybody was aware I was pressing record, and Padre popped in with his nipples. So if you are watching this audio or not watching this in its video form and only listening in its audio form, you just missed out at the chance of ginger nipples.
It's just how I expected a Cowboys fan to look.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is slander, and it just will not be tolerated. Welcome to the circle. I'm going to introduce you all with all the utmost energy that you deserve. So we'll start with Howling. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Excellent. Stoney.
Top of the evening, gents.
Johnny.
What up?
And Captain, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what up, guys?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Now,
So,
Johnny,
yes, sir.
you have assembled this motley crew of people together. So I am going to mute my mic and make you take over. Suck it.
Those are called peep shows, dude. They went out, you could drop quarters into a machine. So it's not free if you're only on audio, if everyone's seeing.
Well, listen, we've been fucking heavy in the Autoflower talk. We had fucking the king of Autoflowers, Daz, on, and somebody right fucking behind him, Hummingbird, right on behind that. And I figured, why not have the fucking captain on, Captain Autoflower, man?
Wow,
We're gonna be heavy in the Autoflowers, and that way, the next 3 episodes, at least for me, we can be heavy in the photo periods. Because
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, thank you.
How I can follow up Daz and then Hummingbird, man. Those are 2 pillars of the Autoflower community. I'm just an interloper, and to be honest, I have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out at the moment. I'm kind of like I'm feeling the pull of the autos, though. Honestly, after listening to your last episode with Daz and all that, did get me kind of hyped about popping a couple autos that I have in the seed vault, including that bubblegum queen. He was raving about.
You have the OG bubblegum queen.
I do.
In your
vault?
vault?
I have at least one of them. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, man.
That was like, when I started, I was just trying to collect all the Autoflowers, and at that point, 4 or 5 years ago, it was kind of like a thing you could dream to actually do, and like actually collect all the Autoflowers and every offering from like a certain breeder, and like the Mephistos and the Night Owls, and I was just trying to catch them all. It got to a certain point where it was just like, yeah, I can't hang anymore,
It was the 5th credit card that you took out that you were really like, holy shit, man.
And I maxed that 100%. One out.
Yeah. It is tough, but it's kind of nice when you reach the point where you realize, like, all right, I got to run all this shit, so I got to be way more limited in what I buy.
Oh, dude,
because you plateau, and it's just, you're like, okay.
Dude, there was somebody in the Discord this morning that was like, dude, my wife fucking texted me at 8:00. Like, really? You're buying seeds already? It's 8:00 in the morning.
That was that cyclist that you always talk about.
Oh, the cyclist. I got it. Thank you,
what?
Tetrahydrocyclist. Cycle on.
Even though I do have like a ridiculous collection of seeds, I should grab the box. Actually, here's one of the boxes, And this is the disorganized box, bags and other bags.
I'm so glad to see this, because the last dude who showed me his collection was Too Tall, and he brought it over in the most organized, like, CD case, fucking alphabetical order with labels. He even brought his label peelers so that as he gave them away, he could label.
The other box, which is on the couch right there, it is a little more organized, but not much. I mean, you just throw them in a container and try to keep the similar ones together. I don't know how other people do it,
I don't. I put like Autoflowers in one section of the fucking crisper drawer and fucking photos in the other section of the crisper drawer. And then when I'm looking through them, they all end up on the layer above, and then I fucking mix them all up, and it's like, fuck, I gotta go through my shit again?
I know. I've tried and failed many times to make like an inventory list, and there's just so much stuff that like it's hard to keep track of, and it does make
there's like a basic math ratio that, like, you know, you've got 90 days that you're growing. If you've got 4 plants in soil, and if you're buying 6 packs of seeds, the math just doesn't go. You know what I mean? You are going to become exponential.
The math don't math.
It just doesn't fucking math, because eventually you're going to end up with, you know, you're still getting 5-6 seeds of each. So you now have double of everything that you have, if not triple, depending on how many you throw in the soil. So it just becomes exponential.
You're never going to pop them all.
Yeah, but it was really cool to hear Daz last week kind of talk about he mentioned sending out some seeds for me from the original Trop Wiz. He's like, I've been popping seeds that are 10, 12 years old and had some really good success around it. So I think that's one of the rabbit holes that I think I want to start going down, just figuring out how some of these old seeds that have been sitting in someone's collection for such a long time, or going, you know, in and out of different humidities and conditions in their little vaults. So
did you see his video on it? He released all his secrets about how he pops.
Clearly not, dude.
I did see that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he.
I never thought about the hanging thing.
I like that. All the roots go down.
Did you see the description though?
Really?
It was by far the best description for any like how to start seeds. It just said, or you could. It said, or you could plant them.
Just put them in soil, and that was. I agree, dude. I was like, fuck yes, that's the way.
Oh, just stick your pinky in the dirt.
I mean, for real.
I've always had great results with Direxo, unless I've had an infestation of some invasive species. But generally, it takes longer, right? Or you get impatient, plant another seed, and you have 2 seedlings and shit. So you just got to understand it. It'll happen. It just might be longer.
Plant 2. I put 3 in the soil every time.
Exactly, dude. You bought a fucking 3-pack, and you're not going to grow all 3?
Yeah, bonsai is one.
That's what I started like. It's like, think about it. I started think about it like the chances I'm gonna revisit this are really fucking slim.
If you
especially with autoflowers, it's like put the seeds, and that way I at least get the chance at 1, and that's all really I have a chance for, and that's all you're looking for. And that way your seed pack diminishes. You get the fucking chance. You don't feel bad. It's like
It's early selection.
The problem with that does become when you
like it and you're
success. No, when you have 0 success, and now you've planted like 4 packs and there's like 12 seeds and none of them fucking popped, and then you're like, all right, well, what the fuck did I do?
If that happens, you got to figure out a different method of germination.
Yes, anything to try. Go to a fucking like psychic, ask for help or some shit, you know? Go visit witch doctors, be like, I got to try some new shit.
Well, so have you guys tried the I don't have it here, the can?
No. I have not. Grateful is fucking huge on that thing, though.
Is that the little water soaker?
So is so Sam Sahas.
It's like
has something similar to it. It's like a heated.
I wish I had it.
Yeah, it's like a pocket. Like there's different like pockets that you can put multiple seeds. Compartments is a great word.
Compartments.
Yes,
and it's a sealed up thing. Like kind of keeps the humidity inside the container. You fill it with water. Put the seeds in it. You can keep it nice and
when you're
organized.
soaking in water, does humidity matter?
No.
Because it's 100% humidity.
It does. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I mean, technically, yes, it does.
I've never been in the water and been like, it's not a very humid day.
It's a little dry in here.
It does come with it comes with a heating pad and stuff, and
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I've always found heat matters way more than any other factor when you're germinating seeds. You know, if you have a heating mat, like get that, use it. It'll help.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like I don't use it for seeds ever because I never have that issue. But a few degrees matters a lot.
Oh, like, I'm sorry, Captain Paradise.
Ooh, I just wanted to
hate to rub my Cali lifestyle onto everybody. I'm always fucking warm where I am.
I'm quite literally broke because of how much it costs to live here. Just be jealous. No, but
hey, at least you got warm soil year round.
I was gonna say, but a few degrees matters a lot because anytime I've been trying to like colonize anything for mushrooms or anything, and it gets too cold at night, if you add a heating pad, it fucking solves your issue almost immediately. Just the target temperature really is super important.
Yeah, there's the ones that you can get the seed soaking mats. I took an old or I used to do it when I like really quote unquote germinated, because right now I just do a soaking step of like 8 to 12 hours and then it goes into soil, and I'll circle back on that in a second. But
Fucking asshole.
when I did, there's number one for you, bud. But when I was messing around with like trying to see how long I could germinate them and really go for that initial the shoot and just see what I could do with that liquid, I put them into a small cooler and I took that seed mat and kind of wrapped it around the sides of the walls, and then put it on top of a glass so that it was central right inside the zone, and then closed it up, and it kept it extremely it kept it extremely like at the perfect temperature, and I kept the thermometer in there just to see how it went, and then I realized it was probably a little bit of overkill. So I mean, the one thing that I do now is I'll turn the heat up to like 80 or 84 degrees in my tent for about 24 to 36 hours before. I've got a 7 gallons worth of soil that's a solid mass of earth, and if I get it up to 85 in there, that's going to keep that soil around 75. So in effect, it's kind of doing the same thing, but I'm more ambient with the temperature. It's not going to go up and down and have such peaks. So I just do like an 8 to 12 hour soak, and then hopefully I'll see something start to kind of just pick out the ends like a little pinky on a puppy. So just, and the next thing you know, I'll drop it into the soil. And
Red dick.
I said a pinky on a puppy. Let's be nice. But I'll try and at that stage, I'll try and.
I'm sorry, Howling. Was that offensive?
You're insulting his kind. Wait, is it offensive? Isn't that kind of like super cool for furries? Like, anyway.
Whoa. So we'll put it back in the dirt. I'll make sure that I just take that whatever's kind of sticking.
We didn't even let him answer whether we offended him or not. Give the guy a chance.
I walk into this offended. Doesn't matter.
That's a pretty good like general vibe going into any recording. Is I know this is gonna suck.
Yeah,
that's why he's so happy. If you ever
listen,
look,
he started the fucking banter with me. This is how our relationship started. He fucking busted my balls. He deserves every bit of it he fucking gets. I love you.
Aww. We'll hug it out when we meet.
Don't moan like that. Don't moan like that. I'm taking pills now. It makes me really excited. You were saying, Stoney? We'll move past that.
I apologize, Stoney. This is my fault.
No, I made 2 swoops on the circle. So so I just typically will go right into the soil. I do think that there's a lot to be said, especially with seeds that I think are older, to spend more time in there in germination. Mm-hmm. But I was playing around with like aloe in it. I think I tried like ferments and different kind of ferments in it. I did see some advantage to the ones that had the ferments in it, but
just I think hold on, I gotta pause because this is an audio podcast.
But the one thing,
an audio podcast, and he keeps putting a fucking circle back counter on the.
The one that I would say was that I think I learned along the way, and a bunch of the research to pass on was the. A lot of folks use the hydrogen peroxide to soak it in, mm-hmm. and when that comes out, that actually sterilizes the tiny little shoot that pops out, and so it takes a lot of that initial bacteria off. Of course, we add back into it, but there just is something to be said about having too much peroxide in, because it will just. Peroxide works in a different way. It actually breaks down the cell walls and destroys it. So it can be harsh. So if you use it, it's like a tiny amount, right?
Cool.
That's why they recommend not pouring it in wounds anymore.
Yeah.
Which is something that I did not get the memo on until it was too late.
I always love doing that.
Watching the fizz, dude.
Up.
Yeah, dude.
Up, like,
I remember I was like, I just cleaned it with this. And the doctor's like, don't do that. And I was like, but it cleans it. And he goes, it kills all the good stuff, dude.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Yep. They say nature abhors a vacuum. So something will get back in there. You better hope it's the good stuff.
Yeah. And it just so happens the bad stuff is real quick.
But then, on the flip side, if you're going into, I'm going into living soil and it's getting, all sorts of funky shit added into it. Yeah, there's all sorts of things in there that probably gets past that, but it's just one of the things that came up.
I have found, like you mentioned a couple things, that in my experience, like too much mycorrhizal when you're trying to pop the seeds is not a good thing. Like actually a sterile medium, or as close to a sterile medium as you can get, even in a living soil. Sometimes I'll just put like a little pocket of like cocoa there, and there's, you know, nothing else, like no worm castings, no nothing, just for that seed to germinate and get through that first couple like 36, 72 hours of life. Because man, I've had that damping off happen so many times. I feel like it's just overabundance of really any type of fungus or bacteria. It's not good for that.
Or hungry mites that
Yeah, I was gonna
don't
say
have an
critters.
alternative freaking thing. Or
Yep.
like, you know, ants.
Soil mites for sure.
Brazilian.
I totally get your reasoning and doing that, because I also do. So I don't quite go cocoa or something that's sterile. I usually use like a seed starting mix that's somewhat sterile. It's even if it's been reused a few times. But I jumped on Howling does the pellets, the cocoa pellets, and I used them for great success in a solo cup recently. And I mean, I didn't see any issue with the taproot, like having struggled getting through it. Yeah, and it like really does seem to be like a stress-free way to pop seeds in mass, because you can put a bunch of them in like a Tupperware container and put water in it to hydrate it, and just throw them in your living soil without having to put up with all the nonsense like pests eating your stuff. You know, good pests, but
but still not good for seedlings. I mean,
exactly.
You need established plants thrive in that type of system, not so much like a just sprouted little baby plant. I mean, so
you're kind of praying that it has its right food, like, because they all prefer a specific type of food, and you just have to hope that your seedling isn't tastier than what they got around them, and sometimes it's not.
Exactly.
Howling, what got you started on that, on the pellets? What reason?
Autos. Really, it came down to the autos, because you plant in the final pod, and I usually do like some big pot or a big bed or something. So I think after one time I pulled a Rev and lost my seeds in the soil. I was like, fuck this. I can soak my seed. I can put it in the puck. And I even soak my puck in the solution I soak my seeds in. So it's all in there. I don't go for like the perfect sterile environment. But it's all good shit. And so that way, you know what? I can know it germinated. I know exactly where that damn seed is, so I don't lose it again. And then, then once it sprouts, the timing, like, I don't even like a taproot showing. I try to go like the moment I see it, like, yep, it's going to germinate. I'm in soil. And that's it. It was really just came down to autos. I just hated the guessing game and planting in the final pot type crap, and it worked well. And now I just use it for everything.
I found that they sprout somewhat faster. Like, it just seems, compared anecdotally through my experience, that when I put them in a container and hydrate them all and pop them all in that container, they seem like they pop faster than when I direct soil them. Jesus, I am having a hard time speaking.
I have a couple problems with them though, and I haven't worked around it, and I don't know if you've hit it. It's I get probably at least 3/4 of seeds have helmet head. There just doesn't seem to be enough there to pull it off.
Yeah, man, me too. It's an auto thing. I'm like, I listened to your last episode, right? We were talking about like the Todd McCormick conversation about, like, you know, autos, and like they were. I think he mentioned like this weird type of cannabis I'd never heard of called Finola. And I looked it up, and it's like this. It's like a Finnish from Finland, a type of hemp that they use for seed production, right? That got me looking into like all this stuff too. Like, I mean, if in the off chance, like, he's right, or like, I mean, maybe Ruderalis does this too, where it's just like the seeds are bigger with autos. If you ever notice, the seeds are usually bigger. The shells are harder. Takes a little bit longer to crack. I don't know if you compare like photos to autos. I mean, truly, sometimes autos are twice as big, the seeds, as photo periods. Not always as obvious as that, but like I don't know, there might be something to it, like if they were crossed into like a seed, like a hemp variety that's used for seed production, like sure, the seeds are going to be huge, right?
Yeah, I like it. Like I think, and even Dad said like it, and that is great. All we do then is change the packaging, right? Like
Yeah,
it
no, it does.
seems like
It's
a strange thing
inconsequential.
to
Yeah,
argue.
exactly.
Yeah,
I just
but it
like
is that would be an interesting theory because I think also couldn't it be attributed to, and I haven't noticed it myself. I haven't paid close enough attention really, but couldn't it also be contributed to having grown up in a horrible environment that you'd need a higher like protective
a
shell to survive?
hardier seed casing for sure. Yeah, no, that evolutionarily that makes sense too. I just went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, like when I was like, I never heard of finola, and what do they use it for? And like turns out like they're known for seed production, and like seeds are bigger, of course.
That's interesting.
Was this like did they give you like a time period when this came around? Is it like a modern day kind of hemp
It was like, yeah, it came about in like the 80s. Like
there you go. So it's a
around-
modern. It's not like
Yeah.
used in the 1800s, and
No.
it was their version of the hemp.
Nope. It's like almost like I almost took it as like canola, where it's
Right.
kind of like this what's the name? Like
Rapeseed.
an acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Finnish something. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. So they tried to like make this specific breeding stock for seed production, and I don't know. It made a little bit of sense. But the one thing I do want to say too about his diatribe that he went on is like he said it's half hemp. It's not fucking half hemp. Autos are not half hemp, especially like the autos that like Daz will breed. Like they might be 5% hemp, might be, or ruderalis, or finola, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody's doing an F1 cross of ruderalis to fucking whatever they want. Like, let's do this shit.
Not half hemp. Like, give me a break. No. Like, then they breed it further and further and cross it back into the photo period and do like actual. So like, yeah, maybe it's 5%. Sure.
But my whole point is like, dude, I think I said it to you in fucking DM. It's like, change or get left behind. And that's literally what the way the dude's fucking acting. It's like ridiculous to think that no matter what the fuck is in the plant, we're breeding it to be better. If the medicine is in the fucking plant that we need, if the terpenes are in there, and actually, apparently, there's a lot more fucking terpenes in fucking autos.
No, there's cannabinoids that are abundant in autos that are not commonly found in a lot of photo periods right now. So yeah.
If this conversation was about any other plant that human beings have bred to do one thing or another, it would be insane, right? Like, we have taken a grass and have made wheat and rice and all of these things independent, right? Through human intervention. Corn is an entirely different thing than olive, but they're all genetically related. Does that mean that one is worse than the other? Because like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you guys all grow tomatoes, right? And if you found a tomato that had a trait that you liked and you hyper focused on that and made that trait, let's say it finished faster than other tomatoes, nobody who grows tomatoes would be like, that's a lesser tomato, because it still makes sauce. It's still fucking edible. It's still a tomato. So if the goal, and I claim, and I hope that most people's goals is similar, but is to get as much medicine into people's jars as possible. Why would it not?
The plant, it's about the plant.
Yeah, why would you not want whatever option available to people, right? If it does give people medicine, and we can all attest to that it does, then simply put, let people grow whatever the hell they want.
And it's making it. I just ran into. I just came across paths with someone over the weekend. Who was doing some work on a house, and found a way to make the connection around autoflowers. And it's I think you're more and more surprised at who's got autoflowers in their gardens these days than anyone else. So I think people know different breeders. They know the names. They're going to shops. I mean, you go to my grow shop and you'll see just as many autos as you'll see photos in the cases. And anywhere that you go online, there's just as much of a sampling of it. And they are just the easy way to get to growing.
For sure. It makes it 100% more accessible, I feel like, to people
I was
who
gonna say,
aren't.
if you were given an option and someone gave you your choice of seed and you knew nothing and you were kind of on the fence about growing outdoors for the first time, you're like, I don't know if I really want to. But someone said, here, plant this, and you don't have to worry about anything. And in 90 days, you can just chop it down, right? And that's it.
See what happens. Throw it in your garden outside. See what happens. Throw it on the patio. See what happens.
Yeah, and you're fine. When it comes to photos outdoors, yes, that's similar. But you're also going to be like, guess what? It's going to be a long time. You're going to have to, depending on where you live,
when and
it's
where.
not even possible. Like where Johnny is, he can't do an outdoor photo unless everything goes right.
Nope.
And I don't know how often everything goes right up in the state New York.
Never. Dude.
Really?
I'm not gonna
Not
grow.
outdoors. No.
I
Rare
can't.
enough.
At least in my backyard, I cannot grow photos. I don't get enough sunlight during the day. Come September, right? It gets to be like I have to have a certain spot in my yard to even attempt it. It's just too moist. It's too cold. It's like fuck, dude. But you know what I can do is I can take one of my beds and fill them with autoflowers, and that's what I'm gonna do.
In like May.
Exactly. As soon as it breaks,
May,
as soon as
June,
that
July,
soil's warm enough,
boom,
fucking
harvest in August before it gets cold.
Yep.
And, yeah, man. I mean, so it's seasonally independent, and like there's a lot of reasons why people would want to grow autoflowers over photos too. Like, if you don't have if you're a beginner, really, I mean, if you're even not like. Let's say you don't have a light-proof setup. You just don't have a tent. You're growing in a house, right?
Yeah, a closet,
you can
and
block
you don't
a
have
window,
the extra
but that's
$100.
it. Yeah, and you just don't want to worry about making it 100% dark or getting a bunch of herms if you're getting a light leak or something. Listen,
from a stab tent.
Makes it so much easier to not worry about light cycles. Also, think about Autopotamus, right? Like, who always is growing autos. He's growing in like the Northwest Territories of Canada, like Yukon land, right? Like it's cold as shit. So he doesn't want to have a dark period because he's relying on his lights to provide heat for the tent. You know what I mean? Like it's a kind of like a synergistic thing, So the less dark period, actually, he doesn't have any dark period. He does like 24 hours on, 0 off, Less variability in your environmental conditions, like all that stuff, man. There's so many reasons why you would want to do that. And for him to, kind of shit on it, it was just like, you just don't get it, man. You just don't, don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not
like
everyone
Johnny
needs to grow
said, the world moves on.
Exactly. But for those of us who do get it, man, autos are still coming out that are impressing the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
You guys fucking you sparked an energy in me because I literally just took a 2x4 out of my garage.
Like literally, like that's what you put on. Took the camera off and got up and got it.
That would be funny. He's like, "Fuck this conversation. I gotta move that right now."
Listen, I forgot to take a piss. I
forgot
to take a piss. I forgot to take a piss. Free show. I had to go take a
Should have
piss.
fucking ran with it, John.
Sorry. Well, no, I don't care. I don't give a shit. This is my fucking house. Listen. No,
Back to the 2x4.
We needed more room for fucking chickens, right? Don't circle back here. Let me circle back. Shit. No, we needed more room for brooders for the chickens because we've got chickens and ducks and all this shit going on. So it's like, fuck, man. And I've been dying to get my buddy to fucking grow, and he's under solar power. This motherfucker has solar power in his house,
Holy
dude.
Shit.
And
Dude, I've done the calculations on how to run a grow under solar power. Holy shit, you need a lot of fucking solar power.
Dude, his whole house is solar.
Oh, so he's already got it expended.
Oh my God.
It's his whole house is literally, he's got huge solar panels in his back fucking like 2 acres.
Oh, he's got a little farm.
He's got so much energy. He's like banking
Yeah,
with the
solar
fucking
farm.
energy company. Exactly. He's banking.
Yeah.
He's got
I
like
looked at-
in the bank.
Yeah.
So
I looked at setting up a shed from scratch, right? Like just
Mhm.
how much would it cost? And it was a surprising amount.
Yeah, no, they.
But
I've
if you've
seen a
already
few
got
of
the
those.
infrastructure, that's badass.
Yeah, I've seen a few
It's
of those around here. It's usually like the same folks that are getting we have the windmills, the giant windmills around here, right? So it's the same people that are doing
Makes
that.
sense.
They're taking like 2, 3, 4 acres, and all you have to do is mow it, right? So you don't have to till your soil, so they can buy old farmland, and they build these structures that are literally like they're out of a sci-fi movie, and they are just panels that run 100 yards long, basically, and really only the care that you do in the snow is they just have long brushes that fit onto their like little 4x4s, and they just would rig things up and sweep it off, and they're literally like farming energy back into the system, just
Yep.
like the windmills are. Yeah, it's really
that's literally what this guy is
Yeah.
doing.
Mhm.
So I've been like
California
dying.
just closed one of those giant solar plants on the way to Vegas. So if you go from Los Angeles to Vegas, you used to drive by this massive solar plant. And it was, the way it worked was it was a bunch of mirrors that pointed the rays back at the center. It was totally inefficient, right? Like prime real estate. However, it killed so many fucking birds.
just
It literally
Well, it was
became
like a
yeah.
magnifying glass. Like,
Yeah, it was
killing
like a
ants.
fucking
fucking
it was
duck a
laser
la
rays
orange in
and,
the
like,
middle of
shit
it.
coming up.
Christ.
I'm curious. One of these
Jesus.
days I'll look it up. But the amount of bird, like it became an issue that you would see it in papers and shit about like the amount
Barbecued
of birds
spawn.
slaughtered.
Oh man.
So, but no, he is literally a solar farm. Like he's feeding back to the power company. So he's got energy in the fucking bank. So I guess the way his system is set up is like they made it big enough to like overpower what his consumption was going to be because he doesn't have batteries. So he's still on the grid. He's not like off grid with the batteries, but he's got enough to power his whole fucking house. The only time he can't is when
It's winter.
Yeah, maybe no, but it's weird because he's on grid, so he doesn't like ever lose power unless they lose power. But either he's got it from his solar, so he's still getting it. But even then, if his solar disconnects, he's got a backup generator. So it's like this dude is never gonna lose power. It's like, dude, I'm sick of telling you to spend the money to fucking grow. I need some more space in my fucking place. If it's gonna save you from smoking all my fucking shit, take my 2x4. I'm giving him a whole fucking setup. I made him buy some soil
Hell yeah.
and like a carbon filter and shit. And I give him a 2x4 in this fuck. It's like, yeah, dude, we're setting this up. And now you guys are making me like, because I was getting ready to plant a fucking femme photo, but it's like, I think that might be the tent with the knife hole in it and shit. And it's like, yep. We're gonna fucking
You
we're
give
gonna
him
grab
a
a
tent with knife injuries, and you're like, here, grow a photo. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. You always hear the argument like, "Well, what's better for beginners? Like you can stunt an auto." I mean, yeah, I guess like you always there's the off chance you can. Like I can still stunt an auto as many of them as
I
I've
do every
grown.
fucking time. That's why I
still
can't
do.
stand to grow them. I don't
Still
have time
smokes.
for them.
Like just try your best not to, and you probably won't. You know what I mean? Like, sure, you might, but even if you do stunt the auto, like, just keep pushing it, keep pushing through, because they will surprise you with their stretch. Sometimes, like, the life cycle is all like weird and kind of condensed into itself. So, like, you'll think they're done stretching, but they are not, and they will keep going, like, really, like 2 weeks past when you'd expect them to stop. Autos just keep stretching, man.
I think we've all had experiences where we're like, this one's just garbage, and then immediately you're like, okay, it filled, my 2x4. I don't know what the hell happened. Like it's
Around
even and
day
like you said,
25, they just
blow up, and now it's pretty.
You're like,
But like you were saying, where like even if you do stunt it, like I think there's a lot to be said that if you plant an auto seed and you think you've messed up, you can still get a lot of practice by just continuing the entire grow, because there's going to be a lot of stuff you learn. And in my opinion, the most important thing that you get from your first grow, other than the medicine, is watching the life cycle of the plant. So you understand what it does in different stages, what
and
to look for. Yeah, and when.
The morphology and all. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And even in the end, I mean, you're not going to be upset with the smoke that you get on a stunted plant. Like you just leave it in the corner.
Yeah,
like
right.
My Cosmic Queen right now, and I called it right out to Daz last week. Like, I stunted this thing that's like the dream everyone wants to. I tell you what, it's on reserve because it's a special occasion, because it still smokes and it's still an incredible representation of it, right? Great expression of it. I didn't get as much of it. So hell yeah, I'm gonna run it again. Hell yeah, I'm gonna get more.
Also
great one.
It is also it's a great plant. It is also the one good practice at your dry. If you have a plant that you think you messed up and you take it the full way, you get to practice the dry on it. Because what if your first time was a great grow and your dry is fucked, right? You don't know how to grow something. Like, you should be prepared. I'm just trying to count your blessings, I guess.
It's also like when you say you stunted the plant, like that has no effect on flower quality. Like you were just saying, Stoney, like like the size of the plant in the end, like it means like in the first couple weeks of the auto's life, like, you didn't give it ideal conditions. It's not as big as it could be, perhaps, but like,
or you didn't do anything at all and something else happened.
Yeah, I've had some of the most fun when I was starting off at those.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I grew my first 4 autos, I had so much fun, like, training them. I, like, fucking broke one almost in half, and then I did, like, a mainframe on this fucking thing, like, training it. And, like, I forget, but, like, I had a fucking cool little picture at every one of them, because they were all these tiny little, maybe an ounce, maybe 2 off of each fucking plant, but it was fucking dope, man. Fun. It was fucking
It's still your own, man.
100%.
The best medicine in the world is your own.
Yep. But listen, to the contrary to that, it took me fucking almost 12 months to harvest my first photo period. So there's that.
And
in the meantime, I had planted my first photo periods, or first auto periods. Who dicked around with me about that? I wanted to shout him out. I think it was therapist. Therapist did. He fucked with me about auto periods.
Auto periods, yeah.
Auto periods. But anyways, I had fucking harvested my first autoflowers by the time I had planted and harvested my first photo period.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even a fucking lie. It literally took me almost a year, because it was like, what is going on with this thing? Why can't I get it to grow? Why is it unhealthy? I wasn't like up potting enough. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. But if you take an autoflower, you throw it in a fucking 10-gallon pot, you don't have to much worry about it. And even better, you throw it in a sips.
Just saying.
Yeah, and or autopot, right? Autoflowers and any kind of automated system. It just, the words go together. It just makes sense. Makes nothing but sense. Mm-hmm. I've had my best yielding harvests with autoflowers in my tents. I mean, I always seem to have better success with the autos. Like, I'm still learning the photo period game. Don't get me wrong. Like, and I'll be the first to tell you, quality wise, you will still likely get better weed from photo periods, but not by that much with the right seeds. Not by that much, where it's like,
what do you mean by better quality?
The hassle. I just mean like quality of the resin, the flower itself, like the terps. One of the big gripes I do have with autos is that they seem to lose their terps in a jar much quicker than the photo periods do. Have you experienced that yourself? Like the after harvest fade of all your favorite smells and flavors happens much faster with autoflowers, I find. Where like as I don't know, it depends. If you keep it,
I am a poor person that I
You know,
don't have. I
depends.
can't keep a stash around long enough. But Howling
That's
was
half my
nodding.
fucking problem.
Howling was nodding his head because he's got a fucking stash. So
Yeah,
I'm curious
mean,
to see if
it's a
he
fucking
agrees.
archive.
I've noticed the same exact thing. Photos just they're stankier. They hold on to it.
yeah.
I mean, just like the black bourbons I have right now are some of the smelliest, and they're photos. Like it's some of the smelliest stuff I've grown. And if it's anything like the blueberry OJ I have, it's a couple years old and still smells like the day I harvested. Where outside of Mango Smile, I don't know if I've had really any other autos hold on to it for that long.
How quickly do you notice it, Cap?
I mean, really, they fade off after I'd say like 3 months in a jar.
That's fair.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and
I
that's-
will never
that's what
approach that long of a storage, so I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
never-
why I've,
but that
I've
is-
never
because I
been.
usually get down to the end of my stash before right around that 90-day, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can see that. I can
They'll
see
fade around 3-4 months. Okay, you know, even in ideal conditions, and even if you use like a Grove bag, which I've been a big proponent of lately.
Me too.
You know, they're great tech for long-term storage. But yeah, like just I never liked curing my autos. I never found that it was worth it at all. I liked my autos best when they were fresh, like fresh out the dry tent. They were always best to me. The longer I let them sit and like cure, the less I seem to enjoy them. Whereas like a photo period will benefit from a good, 2 months of just like put it in the jar and let it sit there for a little bit, and like it does develop more. There's
How are you
more-
storing?
Yeah,
Because like I got my jars in the top of my fucking like my grow
Just-
room, and
yeah,
we keep it
jars.
warm in here. It's like 75 fucking, but all my jars are like up there, so I imagine it's warm and they do get some light on it. So I probably could like, if I was smart, I'd like lower them down and do like a cooler. How do you keep your jars?
so I've been trying to like after harvest, which I did just harvest. Thank God I got full jars again. Happy days are here again. And
Hey, you said you were trimming.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's very good stuff. It was that joint, grow along we did for the podcast, and I have 2 cherry banana bomb and 2 grape juice of his new collection, and like, man, if the stuff doesn't smell and taste exactly like you think it would, I'll be damned. A lot of banana from this one, which
No shit,
I
dude.
love banana terps. Yeah.
So I just harvested a banana runts from fucking Soulfire. You said you got banana terps off of that. Did you?
This is the most banana terps I've ever got. I've grown a couple of banana strains, and this is out bananas all of them.
No shit, dude.
It's-
Because I got
Howling,
like
really
lemon and
nice,
lime.
yeah.
I got lemon and lime from the Soulfire.
That's interesting.
That's real
Howling,
nice.
what did you grow for the cultivation conversation go along?
Black bourbon and
Ooh,
gangsta
nice.
grape, which they both mess me up.
Are you getting
do.
grape?
No, more of the blueberry. And he even
You're a
said
fan
I
of that. You
love
said it
blue-
like
I
you were
love
sad. You're like it's.
everything blue.
yeah.
Just give me everything blue. I'm cool with it. That's why I'm doing
yeah.
a run now. It's 2 things that have blueberry in it. But yeah, he even said he looked at the structure of it and he definitely saw the blueberry parent coming through into it. Just the way it looked. But it's awesome. It messes me up. And I'm glad that the one pheno there I grew 2 black bourbons and both were different phenos. And the one that I liked the most, that was just like the beauty queen. They both were, but there was one that was definitely better. And she
such
is
good
pure
looking
blueberry
plants.
OJ. It is great. It's like blueberry OJ on steroids. That's just how after I smoked it the first time, I messaged him. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is this thing?
Man, it's
'Cause-
funny. Like that BBOJ is coming through in all of the strains that it's bred into. I mean, the one I have, grape juice, is BBOJ, one of the parents. I could see it in the plant when it was alive. I could taste it in the flower itself, but like it's with something else going on, and this one in particular is a little more of that grapey, like Smucker's jam quality thing, not just straight up OJ.
It's got some sugar in it.
Oh yeah, Concord grapes, and yeah, a little sweeter, less like astringent terps, but like I don't know, just autos are great too. Don't get me wrong, but like I just find like the quality is a little better still in photo periods. Like there's not, how can you really dispute that, But as far as like the ease of the harvest,
I can dispute it because I can dispute it because I have ran Autoflower Tangy Tibiguana, and I have ran more Tangy Tibiguana photos, and I would prefer to run the Tangy Tibiguana Autoflower, and I've got another fucking hunt going on for the Tangy photo, so it's like,
all right. I mean, there is an argument to be had. Like I said, I mean, there's different cannabinoids and stuff.
I think it also depends on the person, right? Like this will always be a deeply body chemistry kind of focused question, but there's so much more.
This episode is sponsored by Alabrije Genetics.
Yeah. There's so much more variety in photos. Like you are much more likely to find the terp that you want in recreatable circumstances, right?
And then you can clone it when you do find it.
Exactly.
So it's just like, how many times I've said to myself when I got that, like, there's been so many autoflowers I wished I could have cloned.
Oh yeah.
But that's
I agree
also
with
what
Bubblegum
makes
Queen.
them,
I wish I still had Bubblegum Queen. But here's the thing: is I cloned my Hella Jelly, and I had it for a while and got rid of it.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think there's something to be said though to autoflowers that if you can work the line enough and you can create, to where you've got a cataloged handful of phenotypes that that's similar to having a cut. It's not the same exact thing, but sometimes it makes life easier if you can't have a mother tent or a mom tent, right? Like, what are you going to do with it? It doesn't matter if you can clone fucking these photos. Like, are you dedicated to have another tent?
You used the example of Tangy. I mean, that's the one we all know, and I'm sure we've all grown it. We all love it. And when you pack or when you pop any bean from that pack of Tangy Tibiguana, damn well it's going to be lanky. It might have that like flaccid leaf phenotype.
The sawtooth. Yep.
But like
the sawtooth, pheno, and then the sawtooth for most of them.
But you just know it's going to have those rotten fruit terps. It's going to be a little on the funky side, but again, I
call it garlic, man. It's got like a garlic funk to it.
Oh, for sure.
Thank God. Thank God. It's like, goddamn, dude, every time I get a fucking Autoflower Tangy, it's got like that fucking
boom, 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 boom.
Tropical garlic, man.
Funk.
See, I wish I don't get garlic personally. I always get rotten alcohol as my funk. Like with the Tangy, it's always like very fruity, rotten, like the first time was kind of like if you ordered a screwdriver, but like a tropical screwdriver, and then you let it sit, and the next morning you had to drink it. Unfortunately, like it was very much that like, that was a mistake. Hey, well, brother, there's a lot of things I told myself I had to drink.
It's only slightly fermented.
Just a
little bit more.
The logic being that the alcohol kills the mold.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, the alcohol must kill all the flies that have landed on it. No big deal.
No, but to circle back, I do have 8 Tangy photo periods. There you go. There's 5. I do have 8 Tangy photo periods, and I'm just as excited, but I'm still not seeing the sawtooth leaf that you would expect from the Tangy.
Really?
Yep. So
interesting.
I can't remember and he's probably gonna hate me for not knowing, but I don't know what the photo lineage is, and it's photo, like FAUX.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know
have
what
that
the lineage
somewhere,
is, but
man.
he said it's crossed with something that's like very fruity, tropical, similar to the tangy terps. But I'm still looking for her sawtooth
Have
leaf
you
pattern.
have you flipped? You haven't flipped a flower yet, have you?
No. I should take a
Okay.
picture because like it's almost covering the entire 3x3 bed.
Perfect.
Yes, that's
Because
not,
I was just talking to Association for Free Weed about this because he's got quite a few stuff going in his tents that are still vegging that have really broad leaves. And he was talking about how Daz was talking about the big broad leaves too in veg. And that once you flip to flower, these particular cuts go straight narrow leaf, like almost within a week or two, all new growth is all narrow. And he sees that with a lot of some of like the really nice sativa shit that he grows. So it could be a case of that.
100%. Because I agree. Because now that you mention it, the apple spice or apples spice from BGG. I got the 2 in the tent, and the one is this short, really reminiscent of the sauce, like this complete fucking stocky little bush. Howling would probably love this little thing. And then another one is just stretching more fucking narrow leaf and just fucking one of those ones that are stretchers. So and they're same stock, you know what I mean? They're just different representations, and they didn't really show until you got them to the maturity. They were matching, you know what I mean, in fucking veg as far as like growth, and then you get them to like that maturity, about to flip to flower, that pre-flower flip to flower, and then they completely were like, hey, I'm pretty, I'm not so pretty. Like
You don't have
like
to hurt
like
Howling
puberty.
sometimes
No,
sisters
it's like
do that,
puberty.
man.
It's literally
Sometimes-
it's like puberty for the
just like
plants.
So I'm curious, man, like because I just popped one of the tangy rainbows that he did as like the collab with Mr. Autogrow in his like rainbow guava number 5 cut. That's like hash production photo period. So I'm like curious if it'll show the sawtooth traits of the tangy, or like, you know, if it won't, I don't know.
Howling, you're growing that, right?
This is a sore subject.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I
So
know,
I
did it
have,
get a
I
helmet head?
love sword subjects when it comes to howling.
Not sprout.
you're talking about those narrow leaves, and sure enough, I have 2 phenos going, and they couldn't be more opposite of each other. And one wanted to like grow as like almost like a head of cabbage. It was just this tight structure. It didn't want to open up.
Broccoli plant.
Yeah, and then the other pheno is branching beautifully. Of course, that's the one that's in the half gallon. But the one that grew like cabbage or something, it had broad leaves, really dark green, really broad leaves. The other one, fucking leaves are so damn narrow coming off the damn thing. I'm so mad. I mean, it is like that's all it is just a bunch of thin, narrow leaves at the top of it. So it's just so funny.
Oh, is
how
it the
different.
flaccid pheno?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm aware of the flaccid pheno.
Isn't that what you want from
Rev,
the tangy,
talk to us
though?
about the flaccid pheno.
Well, it was dubbed by our buddy there, Cap, on an episode of his cultivation conversation. But essentially what happens is you get those same very sawtooth thin leaves, but the leaf does not hold itself up. It just flaps down. Like there's no, like it looks like it's either overwatered or stressed or dying.
whole
but
grow.
Yeah, the whole grow, no matter what you do.
Never perked up, not
Oh,
like
wow.
now once. And it was like, yeah, in the same, right next to its sister that didn't have that flaccid leaf pheno thing. And it was like, you know, praying the whole time. I'm just like, she just looks unhappy. Man,
But
turns
she's
out
loving life. Yeah.
turns out that one like smoked the best out of the 2. Like I enjoyed that one a lot. Like, yeah, crazy, right? How that works.
Yeah, there's something I'm in my mind. The reason I don't train is because I very much enjoy the watching a plant's natural expression, and so it's really
Let
cool
me circle
when
back to that when you
Oh, you
finish.
son of a bitch. I'm trying to do something here. So it's really fun when you get to do multiple of the same plant, which is something that I don't often do because I try and get as much variety as I can. But I recently did for Alebrije and had 2 in the same tent and 2 in opposite tents. And it was really cool to see the different natural expression of the same plant next door to each other, essentially. So
Yeah, I was the only other time I've had this the last few runs of running multiple phenos of the same strain, and I was kind of spoiled when I grew blueberry sauce. Both of them absolutely identical in every which way. There was no variation of the two. I thought like, oh, this is probably how most lines are. Until I did the black bourbons, I'm doing all the night owls I had. Um, the 2 tangy rainbows, like all of them, those are the 3 that I've done where like it was the same. And actually even all the marathon crosses like West Coast Tucadillo and Blues Omega, even those I ran 2 of each of those. And it's just awesome seeing all these come out. I don't know how breeders do it, and like but I could see it, and if I can see it, I can't even imagine what they notice is different. And it's pretty amazing that they go and select the ones they want, because it's just like shit. There is just so much to think about here. So
it is fun doing that. I've found, now that you mention it, I've found that I've done that the last couple grows. I've made it a point to grow like 2 of the same strain right next to each other, just because I like to see, the different expressions come out in the same gene pool. Like, then you compare, contrast, like very similar smokes in the end too, but different. So
that would make really great content for like a YouTube channel or something, dude. Compare and contrast 2 phenos of Autoflowers.
It just might.
There you go.
I'm thinking I gotta bring my channel back, man. I've been thinking
I'm ever so slightly nudging you towards that if you couldn't get from my overly obvious.
Well,
I kid you not. I've mentioned it before, but it was the thing that brought me to your podcast was your YouTube video.
Yeah, really.
And because I forget what it was one subject I was looking at for, and I can't remember, but you happened to be
my soil
talking
video.
about it. I think it was your soil video.
Ah, dude.
And it was the one where you were filming in the bathtub with like the first one before you redid it all fancy.
Casper. Oh, I
miss
Casper
poor
so
Casper.
much.
Rest in peace.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry about Casper.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's
terrible. Thank you. But dude, speaking of that soil video, and thank you for watching, and I'm gonna get back on that YouTube, because I have a new video coming that's about like making a super soil for autoflowers using not Gaia Green 444, but Cold War Organics Bud Bread.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
All right.
It's like a 4, I forget the ratio, but yeah, that's what we're going to use. It's the same exact stuff, man. It's the same stuff. Just, you can't get Gaia Green in the States. You just can't.
What is your grow style these days?
So I did Synganic on the last round for the first time.
How'd you find it?
I enjoyed it, to be honest. I was kind of afraid of the whole synthetic thing, and I didn't find any like reduction in the terps, overall quality of the weed. Just a little bit easier to keep up with the health of the plants. We're talking like photo periods too, over the course of like veg and flower. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think I've always kind of thought organics were the easier way to do the growing. Like I just like throwing stuff in a pot and like, mixing it all up. Like no particular measurements. We're just winging it here. Like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't know. It turns out you need just as many jars of stuff to grow organically as you do synthetically. You're going to need to keep them all stocked. I don't know. Think about all the products you need to keep your soil in good health. like
I
all the
was
time.
actually thinking
Like-
about this today, but I am going to disagree with a large amount of bottles. Howling mentioned something that's going to be a topic for a circle in the future, but
It was
how
like,
to
yeah, you need
a recession
worm
grow,
castings,
right?
you
Like
need
what's
Oh,
the,
right,
the
right.
the recession grow that you can
the
do? So I was
the
spending a lot of
easily-
time
You're right.
into thinking about what is the bare minimum that I would prescribe a new grower to do organically. And
that's
I'm
easy.
teetering.
Who said it?
Yeah, worm cast.
Don't
Yep.
fucking steal my thunder.
I was gonna say if you
That's a slow roll,
want
bro.
to do the
Slow
bare
roll.
minimum, I think you can get away solely with worm castings and grow quality.
You might
Would
have to
you
use a
even-
little brown sugar.
argue-
You need a little sugar, a little molasses.
Yeah. I mean, but you can get away because I was thinking my number wasn't going to be just one. I think that you could do three. I think three solid inputs will get you through a grow. Now, to reuse the soil and to continue that is a separate argument, and then we could have that conversation. But to get through a grow, I think 3 to 2, right? Like
Now, it's funny you say that, because the video I'm talking about, that's exactly what it's going to be. Is just like, cocoa or peat or just a bag of soil from the store. Like, get your Happy Frog, get your Stonington blend. Great, great
yeah.
purchase. I always advocate that. Start with a good batch of soil.
That's
then-
Coast of Maine.
Oh,
I just
yeah,
went
Coast of
looking
Maine.
for
I
a
love that
fucking
stuff.
bag of. I swear to God, I
Hard to
just went
find.
looking. Yeah, I know. I just went to the local store looking for it, thinking they had their soil and shit out. They don't have. They had some out, but they did not have Stonington blend. And you know what I did? I bought a bag of fucking Build a Soil Light.
Yeah, that'll
Build a
work
Soil Light
great,
was more
man.
available
That's
than
awesome.
Coast of Maine. That's crazy.
Yes, dude. Well, I didn't go online. If I was going to go online to buy a bag of fucking soil, it wasn't going to be something I could get locally. If I can get it locally, I'm getting that fucking Stonington blend. It's really fucking fluffy peat, man.
I love
It
that
is.
stuff.
It is nice. It's rich. It's a fucking.
Have you found that you get
It works great for bottom watering
gnats,
too.
though?
Mm-hmm.
Gnats can be a problem, but that's true with any soil. It depends if it gets waterlogged.
I didn't know if because in my experience, I've heard a couple people mention that they got flyers from it.
Yeah, I was
used
wondering
Stoney.
how it was.
In
But
my
that
experience,
could have
I
also
didn't.
been the way it was stored too. So I mean, I
Yeah.
gotta give credit. I can't just like diss on it because it
You want to
could
know
have
the
been
best?
where it
the
was
best-
stored.
I'm sorry. That was very rude. I'm so high. I'm sorry, Stoney.
It's all
It's
good.
all right, dude. I wrapped it up. Go for it, buddy.
You were talking poverty.
I'll take you back.
Grow.
I'll circle you back. You said the best.
Yeah, we were talking
Sucker.
poverty.
No,
grow.
no.
So I
You read
really
that one.
want to do an episode one of these days where we'll have Howling and I'll force him to pick the budget light that will break his
A
goddamn
light's
head
a
as he
good
weeps.
question. But
Yeah, because realistically, right, everything's gone to shit in this scenario, and you need medicine in your house for the least amount on your wallet currently. That's gonna break Howling, because he's gonna have to pick the worst of the worst, effectively, or the best of the worst.
like, how low can you go in terms of wattage and
Yeah, at
quality
what
of the,
point?
of the,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
board
There's got to
itself?
be a point where you're
Like,
just kind of
where will it really start to impact your harvest, and like, I don't know, where will you meet that like point on the graph of like increasing returns from ramping up your
upping the
LED?
light, and
That
then-
like, I don't know, it's like it's an interesting, that's a question for Bruce Bugby, I feel like.
Oh yeah,
Or
that would be a
Howling.
good one. Or Howling.
Or Howling,
Just it's not like he has anything going on.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like if we're talking about like the cheapest way you can get through it. I mean, there's some crappy lights out there that'll get you through things that are pretty cheap now. The price is stupid cheap
I've seen
for
people
anything.
grow like pretty amazing, impressive harvests with just like a Mars Hydro TS 2000, man. Like, you don't need anything particularly
Or
special.
T5 bulbs. You can flower a canopy, and they're not expensive at all. And you can grow.
Now that's a budget
Seed to
grow right
harvest.
there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I saw a plan for a
T5 bulbs.
UFO kind of ripoff that used those type of bulbs it was something that you see in like the ultimate DIY like nightmare, but it
I used-
was pretty fucking interesting.
I only vegged under T5s for my first year. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
If you can
So,
get away
I
with
mean-
it, why not?
Let me ask you a
It's true.
fucking question here. Let me propose this. I just had this weird thought. If we're gonna grow,
Ask us to ask a question one more time.
Again, that's why autos are kind of great too,
Hear me out.
because you don't need no tent.
Let me ask you a
don't-
question.
No, nothing. Just hang,
Exactly.
hang some lights from your basement
what is the difference
rafters
between
and put some
what is
plants
the
under it.
difference?
Couple
what is
fans,
the
you're
difference
golden.
between an outdoor grow and an indoor grow without a tent?
Lots.
Generally, a house,
Exactly.
I mean, the other
Which is
walls.
better? Which
walls,
is better?
a roof, a door.
You're worried
So-
about what indoor grow. And an indoor grow, if you threw it in a fucking corner, put a light over top of an autoflower and sat there and grew it. What's the difference between the quality of that weed and the quality of the weed you could potentially get outside? Let me propose that question.
Well, okay,
What are you worried
there would
about?
be a lot of difference in air exchange, right? You're getting fresh air blowing through it. You're getting fresh sun on it.
So you put you put a fan on it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a
Fresh
grower.
But I-
poop.
Sunlight, terps.
Same thing as a
Fresh
grower.
I mean,
Put
there's
a fan
there's
on it.
less pests. Well, it depends. Your garage could be full
Less
of rats.
pests
You never know.
indoors, right?
Yeah, depends. But yes,
It depends.
I would argue
Yeah.
indoors probably less likely. But if you're telling me that you're like, I grew this in my garage or I grew this outdoors, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me.
Exactly. I don't think there is. So like an autoflower that you can put under fucking 24-hour, a simple fucking $50 grow light that you can hang in a corner off of Amazon or some shit in a fucking earth box, man. The cheapest grow ever.
Yeah, couple
You don't need-
couple
you don't need
fans too.
shit,
Like I
and-
would
yeah,
say,
you're
that's
gonna
all you
need some
need.
fans.
Couple
Yeah.
fans, and you can get
And
away
you're
with
gonna want some PM. Just like you would outside, right? You're gonna want some pest management.
IPM, yeah,
IPM.
yeah.
IPM. Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't,
I don't
You don't
think you
want
want PM. What?
you don't know
Johnny,
PM, though.
This is listen. I'm just so used to PM with me at this point. It's I
I
don't
know.
fucking.
I was gonna make
But
the joke.
yeah, yeah,
I
a
was
little
gonna say,
bit,
you know,
I
you
mean,
can't
goes
have a
on-
grow without PM. You don't need it, Johnny.
little bit of IPM will go a long way, man. Just take it from me. You don't want to battle the fucking man. Spider mites were the worst. And just cleaning the indoor tent after that whole fiasco was like, yeah, it took me 3 weeks. You know,
Did you get? Oh, you got spider mites pretty bad.
yeah, dude, it was not fun.
Oh fuck.
But I made it through. I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad. I had them and I managed them, and that's all
I
you
had
can hope
to-
to do.
How did what'd you use?
What really seemed to work best was a combination of Zymes and this stuff called Organishield.
Fuck yeah, dude. Those are my two products too.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%, dude.
Hell yeah.
Flam
All
fucks with Organishield, right?
Oh hell yeah. He's the
Yeah,
one that
he
turned me
reps
on to it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Flam is a rep for Organishield.
Nice.
Dude, I've been using it for a thrip infestation. So I got these fucking cuts. I'm not allowed to really. They came from a fucking accredited breeder. Let's just say that, right? Okay.
course
So
they were
I thought they would
infested.
be pretty safe. Oh, they were 100% infested with thrips.
Man.
And something about their root balls, they stunk. I brought them in my.
Oh, that's
my
a good sign.
Rat.
First of all, remember my dad has this. Remember my dad has this fucking connection. He's excited about
yeah.
whatever. So
He gave you
he-
rooted fucking.
my
striped
dad
and
was
aggressive
my
clown.
my old man was so excited to get these fucking.
Sounds
cuts,
like a
man.
great
I,
connection, dude.
I know.
Roots
listen.
were all slimy. And
Something was wrong.
They
And when I
smelled
put
like
two and two
sulfur.
together, when I put two and two together, he got like this fucking message. He was like, he can the HVAC guy, because my dad does the HVAC for the fucking whatever. He's like, the HVAC guy can have these fucking cuts or whatever. It's like, I got it. They had a fucking potential mother room and they didn't really care about it because these things were fucking huge in these 1 gallon pots. And these guys are supposed to be like, organic growing, and this is the best, right? Because this is what I'm getting from my dad, and it's like these things were so overgrown in these 1 gallon pots, they were no way being fucking organic anymore. And I just smelled the fucking root rot or something on these fucking things, and I even put them in my fucking tents. So now the fucking plants I was excited about have fucking thrips. So it's like I'm giving them the fucking organic shield left and fucking right now.
If only someone had warned you. And I believe
your exact Chuck.
Words were, "I'm good."
It's what
I'm not, because like I'm not worried about it because I know I have
you
a good fucking
exactly.
But
dude, you've got a game plan.
But
it is frustrating as a grower.
It'll happen
100%.
to all of you at some point.
Yeah.
Like every single one of us as growers are going to deal with a pest infestation at some point. It will happen to you. Your guard will be down at the least opportune time, and they
it's going to be something you don't
just,
expect,
man,
like some insect you've never heard of before,
like
Brazilian ants.
Fucking Argentine bastards.
Argentine.
Not the people, just the ants.
Howling, what do you use for IPM?
Luck.
Johnny Luck on your side.
I just pray.
Hope and prayers.
He
just nails his shit. He just pays that much attention. He just fucking and complains like, "Oh, I'm such a bad grower. I don't even use IPM. I'm such a bad grower."
No. He does use IPM. He's just not claiming he is, right? Because his IPM is super clean. He is very clean and on top of things.
I mean, I think the biggest things is I don't let the pets near the tents.
Huge.
I'm not perfect about waiting to go into my tents after I've been outside or something. Sometimes I do it right away, but I do make sure that I take my shoes off. They don't go in there then. But if I can, I'll try to wait an hour or two if I'm not changing clothes or anything before going in. That's really it. I mean, for my IPM, it's really just preventing some of that in there. And when it comes to just general problems, I've had rounds of mildew and some kind of rot, and so I'm trying now the Bacillus subtilis and the trichoderma spores. And I did, that's what I used on the black bourbons, and it didn't hurt anything at least, but you're supposed to do a foliar like a couple weeks into flower and then do a root drench. And it's supposed to outcompete, make it more resilient to mildews and stuff. And pests don't like it either. Pests don't like healthy plants.
Do you use Bavaria bassiana?
No, I haven't tried that yet. So I have been thinking about that.
So I used it in my beds, so I feel like I know I have it in my big bed, so I don't continue to use it in anything. But like every once in a while I still remember to sprinkle a little bit of shit on there just to reconfirm that I've got it in there.
I did like the fact that my last auto bed had so many predator mites and stuff in the soil. I liked having that kind of protection. I don't know how they got there because I treat all my soil all the same ways. Why it thrived in that bed, I have no idea, but it was super active. So I think that helped. It wasn't intentional. I'm trying to get that back. I don't know what I did. Maybe it was some kind of top dress. I don't know.
Castings.
Castings.
I didn't.
Maybe.
Yeah, there was just something because none of my other beds or anything has ever gotten it.
Dude, it's
so
funny.
That's huge too. So I think I'm gonna try to recreate whatever the fuck I did because I would love all my beds to have that kind of life.
Hell yeah.
And I think it did produce better. I would say I don't know why, but I think after I noticed the infestation of good mites and different bugs, I think the weed got better from that tent. There was something
the bed
different.
Got more biologically active, right?
Yep.
And you deal with less. As soon as I got, I don't know what exact species of soil mites they are, but they are fast and they jump from they jump.
The little red ones.
Man, they get everywhere.
Those are predator mites
all over.
Exactly,
man.
dude. They're predator mites. I love seeing predator mites.
They're great, and then there's no more fungus gnats. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not a single one.
I haven't had fungus gnats.
Circling back to the fungus gnats, I found that my best solution for fungus gnats is to literally just put black plastic over your fucking bed at that point and let
That'll
that be
do it
mulch.
too.
Just let them fucking like everything fucking
Smart.
nothing's gonna live under the black. And if it is, the worms are gonna come up, something's gonna come up, and like, yeah, it'll mulch it.
Very
You just
smart.
have to do like a lot of us. We just use SLF one time. Do
Yeah.
a root drench with SLF. It breaks down. It destroys shit.
Shit, I keep forgetting about my SLF.
That's my IPM.
SLF 100.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's my IPM. That's other
Good
than
for
cleaning
reservoirs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I run. I do every other.
Is that your
reservoir
only
with it.
IPM, Stoney? What do you do
Other
for
than like
IPM?
cleaning and just making sure the rounds are, otherwise I'd say it's SL. I mean, I had Stonington in early on in those first couple rounds because I kept kind of cycling it. And I'd say the first 2 or 3 rounds before I got rid of it, they had plenty of the fungus gnats. And then sometime around then, I started using SLF 100, and I haven't, like on a rare occasion, I'll see one, but I don't see any other flyers. I don't see any other soil based. I had one round where I dampened off one of the pots because there was some sort of active critters that chewed away at it. Other than that, like, and
You don't do any foliar spray at all?
I don't do foliar spray, and to be honest with you, I think it's just part of its discipline of if I'm out and about, I don't like to go into my tent. I don't even go into my tent at night.
I think that's part of the
That's
best
half of it,
IPM,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I love
Some of
it.
the
I
best
love it when
IPM
I
is just
don't
stay
have to
away.
worry
Just
about
don't
it.
bring
Yeah.
in. Listen, if you grow outdoor plants, I know we all do.
Yeah.
Do not, under any circumstances,
Yep.
put a plant that was outdoors
Mm-hmm.
indoors, and then especially don't bring it up in your fucking tent where you're growing your weed. I mean, I could show you pictures. I was dumb. I put the lemon tree that I have. I put it. It's outdoors all year. I brought it indoors, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it some fucking LED light, some full spectrum light. Put it right in the middle of the grow tent. Bad idea.
Yeah.
Very bad idea. So
Well,
that's
noble
what brought
though,
it in.
because I know it's an important tree.
yeah,
It is.
sentimentally, but also it's dead now from like, mite infestation and just being indoors all season. And like, was it worth infesting the other plants? No. You're right, Stoney. I think if you're just diligent about not bringing them in yourself, that's more than half the battle.
And to your point, working outdoors in your yard, if you're out in your garden, take a shower before you go down, change your clothes,
Wash your
hat.
friggin' hands.
Yeah, it's really
That is one
worthwhile.
thing I like to do if I've been outside before I get in the garden. I do take a shower, but all the other shit, like, look, anybody watching right now, this is my lounge is my grow space. So, and
there's no
there's
room.
there's
Oh,
my
the
dog
dog's
on the
in there.
floor.
Hey,
Of
dog.
course, yeah, man. Like, it happens. It's our space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's tough, but
I'm sure your wife's gonna.
I live a
appreciate
different
the-
lifestyle. We won't tell her. She's sleeping.
Hey man, just keep up with the spraying. Then that Organic Shield will do you wonders. Honestly, that
So,
stuff and
I don't use it
were
as
kicking
an
ass.
IPM. I do everything I can to not have problems. I just like anticipate them and know that I have guards against them. Because that's like, to some extent, you're not going to fight nature. Something is always going to fucking win to some degree. And it's like, I can't get fucking stressed about that shit.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Preventative will minimize management.
To circle back one more last thought to circle back. Exactly. So Padre mentioned he just likes to let the plants go fucking natural, and I've really been
only
trying
my
to
plants.
take
I
on
want to make
that.
that clear. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, me. Well, I've been trying really hard. That's the Johnny Homesteading. You're welcome. How that's what Howling calls me, is Johnny Homesteading.
New nickname.
Shit, I forgot my circle back. God damn it. No, the shit.
What are we circling back to?
No, Padre mentioned
He doesn't know.
No, he mentioned he likes to grow his plants natural, like he doesn't like to train. And I've really been trying to take on like matching that time so that I don't have to fucking train too much. And the only training I like to do is really just bend the tops over so that the bottom branches get a chance to come up. I don't like to fucking top it. So I go over to fucking Dad's Grow. And this is the ultimate circle back, by the way. I go back to Dad's Grow and he asked me to go upstairs and check on his tent, and because his apple spices aren't the one apple spice I planted in his 2x4 isn't doing as good as the ones I have. Like I've already flipped mine and they're the same age. I planted the seeds, brought him the same age plants, everything. His isn't in the same environment, and he's like wondering why he wants me to go up and just check on things or whatever. And I'm looking at the plant and he fucking topped it. My dad has had this affliction for topping a fucking plant since I began to grow with him fucking, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's fucking irritating to me. It's like, dude, would you stop topping the fucking plant until I do it? You're not allowed to train. And he's like, I wonder if you noticed that. It just looked like it needed it.
To point, the only reason, and there are so many examples of times that it is the right move is to train. You should always defo, like you should always stay on top of it in certain circumstances. I prefer the first natural when it is the first time growing it generally. However, I tried to adamantly change the narrative that everybody seems to think like I need to top every fucking auto they've ever planted immediately. Like that's just bold. Some autos they'll top it like they're like, I got its first node and I took it off, and I'm like, okay, well, no wonder your plant's struggling now, man. Like, why don't I just think you shouldn't default to topping. I think there are perfect situations when you should, right? With autos, I will always say, right? But I just think that there should be thought before you just auto do anything.
Yeah, I'll even say that about LST too. I mean, just don't go right ahead and think you need to start bending branches either. Just let the plant grow.
Let the plant.
Watch the plant, yeah.
Watch the plant. Observe the plant.
100%.
It's like it's such a beginner thing too. Why is that? Like, where as soon as like they're like I'm gonna grow, it's like I want to bend the plant over. That's like the next thing.
Do you think it's a nervous energy? They're just so excited to watching the plant.
Parenting a little bit.
Yeah.
They want something to
do something. At some point, there's
be
nothing
hands-on.
to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they've watched every video, and every video leads to someone talking about training.
LST.
Because
that's
they need
the thing
to
they look forward to the most.
Yeah.
It seems like as soon as I can get in there and bend a branch.
But I am just so bad with dexterity that it just cannot. Like, I'm not gonna fuck with it.
Broken too many branches.
Yeah, I've broken too many branches and fucked with things so bad that I'm like, why did I think this time would be different? However, I have a very important question for you all, and it super, super pertains to this conversation, of course. But Johnny recently shared something that blew my mind. But apparently, red and white hot dogs are a thing that you grill in upstate New York in the spring. I didn't grow up that way, but I'm very curious what all you did. What is something that you look forward to grilling in the spring? I will start with Johnny so he can explain to everybody his ridiculous red and white hot dogs so that they would better understand.
I will explain it. They're a snappy griller. So we have a local sausage maker. It's Hoffman hot dogs, and the red ones are a normal hot dog, but they're like, I don't know. Picture a hot dog, but homemade. Okay. This is what this German hot dog is. It's fucking really good. It's crispy. It's like the best homemade hot dog you can have. Okay. You could get a ballpark at any fucking ballpark but these are really good red hot dogs. Now they also offer these white hot dogs, and it's a different recipe. They put a different. It's almost like a brat, exactly. And I personally do not like them. They fucking make me gag. I don't know what it is. They are not enjoyable to me, but like my wife enjoys them. Some of my kids enjoy them.
So they're
fucking.
So yeah, they're like a they're a smooth
It's
white.
like a
so they're
salt potato. Remember we've talked about the salt potato fucking thing with
Yes.
me. So
You
Ridiculous.
said they're
yeah.
snappy. Like you meant like
Snappy
they
grillers.
grill up fast, or they like snap when you bite them.
snap when you bite them. They got a really crispy
Oh, yeah,
outside,
that-
and they're fucking.
That's a natural casing, man.
Yeah, it's
Yo,
real.
that's like a
100%,
pork,
man.
Yeah.
pork and veal usually, so it's made more like
High
a moose.
quality.
Hoffman. So
Yep.
Hoffman hot dogs.
What an
And it-
excellent. Yeah, I'm gonna
as
have
you-
to try it.
I didn't
So-
say this was my favorite. You
No, I
haven't
know,
let me
but I
say
still
the
have
fact.
to try it. I'm willing
Stoney,
to try
does that-
anything
does that-
encased in a casing.
Does
Wait,
natural casing mean that it's like, what did they used to use back in the day? It was like
Still use
intestine,
it.
right?
Pig
Intestine
intestine.
lining?
I
Yeah,
use
is
that.
it-
I
is
use
that-
that when I make my
is
homemade
that what it
sausage. I
means
use
still?
pig intestine.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That's
Natural
the
casing
natural casing.
I think
Gotcha.
at this size, it's probably lamb intestine at this size.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like 23 mil.
Lamb is like breakfast sausage.
Oh, breakfast sausage. It's a little
Mhm.
smaller.
So
Smaller
that's like a lamb.
diameter.
Yeah, that's a really small casing. Now there are different widths and sizes, but that's pretty hard to spec out. I mean, believe me, that this different sizes are pulled off the market, but for the most part, yeah, you're getting a natural casing. So
Right.
anytime you hear natural casing, it's typically a
Pig
pork
intestine.
product. Yeah, a pork product, and it is the actual casing, and you fill those. So that's where that snap comes from. The other ones,
yeah, I
the
always
red
liked
ones, were typically or were more than likely a beef hot dog. So that's how you get to that red coloring to it.
I wonder. Yeah.
Mhm.
So Hoffman
you're making
is
me
the
hungry.
brand.
It's nice having
Hoffman
a chef
is
on
the-
staff, isn't it?
And then I think the thing that made this brand particularly popular is in Liverpool, which is like shares the same lake with the state fair. So Syracuse, New York State Fair. It shares it with the
That's where the Beatles are from.
It's called Destiny USA,
Liverpool.
but when I Liverpool, yeah. It's called Destiny USA now, the mall, but when I grew up, it was Carousel Mall. But it's the same fucking town. It shares the same lake called Onondaga Lake. It's all the same county, but it's got this fucking hot dog joint, and it's called Hyde's Hot Dog. And my grandparents grew up in Liverpool, so this fucking Hyde's Hot Dog restaurant is just like a fucking. It's literally a stroller walk away. So I grew up on these fucking hot dogs because my grandparents didn't mind taking their fucking kids to these hot dogs. So I literally have to take these fucking hot dogs to Ohio when I go to fucking Ohio to my grandfather. Yeah, they're like,
Bring me the Hoffman.
Bring me the dog.
yeah, man. It's like one of those. It's like one of those fucking local.
Bring me
fucking
how
those
you know
dogs, or
Ohio
don't
is
come
great.
at all.
But for
But
me
what's your
in
answer?
the spring,
Johnny.
for me in the spring is literally anything I can get on the fucking grill, man. Dude,
That's
don't
right.
give a goddamn
You've already
shit.
knocked it out once this weekend.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
so
but
I
what
did,
was
man.
it?
No, it
You have to give
literally
an
is.
answer. So what was the first one? Was it? It was a burger, right?
It was chicken. No, it was chicken.
Oh,
this time.
okay.
Yeah, we threw.
There you
So
go.
we were making a Greek salad. And I had some fucking Greek seasoning and shit. So I Greek seasoned the chicken breast, threw it on the fucking open fire pit grill that I have. So it's all fucking hardwoods from my property. We just threw it in there and put the fucking grill over top of it. And yeah, dude, it was
Excellent.
nice because it was cold outside. So we got there and smoked some fucking J's just around the fire, getting warm, watching the fucking chickens running around the yard and shit. It was like the best fucking spring fucking.
That sounds
Please
like
come
fucking
day.
perfection, dude.
Yeah.
How wonderful. Howling, follow that.
I still need the shit out of that, by the way.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to grilling is there's this butcher, and his fillets are not like fillets; they're like mini roasts, and I like to grill those up and make like a little pan of sweet onion and butter that's melted down, and use a rosemary brush and brush that butter onto the fillets. I love it. That's just
Damn.
that with the roasted
Fancy.
potato. That's it. That's perfect.
Do you roast the potatoes on the grill?
Yep.
Fuck yeah. In foil?
That beard is so
Usually
fitting.
not, because I like
No
to have the
shit.
crispiness. If you don't burn them, they get just like this
True.
crispiness, almost like a chip on the
A
outside.
little char.
Yeah.
Nice. I never thought of that. Nice.
hmm
Captain, I won't make you follow Stoney. I'll do you the honor of going before.
Well, thank you. haven't done it yet because it hasn't quite been the weather for it yet, but I'm very much looking forward to breaking out the old Weber, that charcoal grill. I got a rack of ribs waiting for me. Do the old 3-2-1 method, a little snake of charcoal around the grill so it'll burn like low and slow around 200 degrees for about 6 hours. Do 3 hours uncovered, 2 hours with foil, and then 1 hour after the foil, like with
Basting.
sauce. Yeah, basting it as kind of the last hurrah on the grill, and they usually turn out perfect. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that and listening to a Phillies game while I got the ribs on the grill.
Yeah.
So
There you go. For the first
Rev,
time in a long time, I get to say, Stoney, good luck following that.
No, I was gonna say, Rev, should we let you go first, Rev, or should?
No, mine's going to seem ridiculous after this, what has been comparably said. So we'll go Stoney. I'll go last.
Oh, you'll go last. Okay.
No, fuck it. I'll go now. You're right. Let's let Stoney do it.
I was gonna say, let's end it poetically.
Mine's super simple. I like grilled corn a lot. So
yeah, dude, right on.
Put some corn on the cob on the grill, and that settles me. I'm not a huge fan of burgers, but kielbasa on a grill is good. It's one of my Polish friends. But grilled corn is I will make sure no matter what that I have grilled corn in the spring and in the summer. Now, Stoney.
oh yeah.
Well, there is one thing that I make about once a year, and if I do, I'd love to take it across the grill at least once. It's for one of the cooking steps, and that's and it's an homage to the old man who was one of my greatest mentors and chefs, and it's called the Sichuan beef. So it's a like a flank steak typically, or skirt steak, but flank steak is the absolute best. And it's like a sesame soy marinade, but the garlic is caramelized in sesame oil first. So it's like you have to chop the garlic in a very specific way. You slow cook it, and then right when it hits the point of caramelization, you have to hit it with scallion bottoms, and then orange zest and then it's like soy, and there's actually tomato paste in it. Sichuan peppercorns go into it. 5-spice star anise goes into it. It's a pretty complex dish. Marinates for a day and a half. Then it goes on the grill, and it gets this super caramely bits on the edges of it, and it's fucking delightful. And then you shave the meat, and while the grill's still hot, you shave the meat, and you make a thickened sauce out of the marinade. Not the actual marinade, but you make the marinade. You pull off some of it, and you marinate the beef with it. And you take the rest of it, you turn it into a sauce. And then you take that sauce and you slice the meat really thin. You throw it on the grill with some foil. Then you just start basting to get even more caramely bits and crispy bits on it. And you take this shit and you build into a fucking Napoleon with crispy wontons, like the rectangle squares, and then fried up super crispy. Dude. You layer it up, right? And then you get to the top of it. You pile the meat on. And then you take so it's a sesame aioli. So I take garlic and ginger, mayonnaise, a little bit of vinegar to it, a little bit of citrus, and cilantro.
Cabbage.
And then no cabbage into it. Cilantro, a little bit,
Johnny.
And then a little bit like crispy fried chili oil go into it. And you drizzle that over to it, and then you put a big giant pile of green onions on the top of it. And you just start pulling this shit, and you just eat them and nosh it, and it's all over your face and your hands, and it's crispy and gooey. Everything's sticky and caramely. It's fucking delicious. So yeah, that's my one summertime. And yeah, maybe if we drop the mic on that one, the old man gives
send me a recipe.
I did give a recipe out to somebody when I was teaching for a while.
The marinade sounds like
it's the key is all about the timing of knowing when to take the garlic, because garlic can go from raw spicy garlic to soft cooked, and then it starts to get a little sweet, and there's this spot where you can get it to golden brown where it starts to just barely stick together, and if you leave it for 0.78 seconds, it will begin to burn, and it turns bitter, and everything is fucked from there on out.
Dude,
you'll always taste it.
I can't wait to bring you some of my garlic in September.
Bring it on, dude. Bring it on.
I do want those what sounds like amazing nachos. Those sound
maybe that's what we need to have off the grill. in
Yeah, we
September.
do.
He does pretty
Well, now,
in
and let me
too.
just give you my corn recipe. You know, it'll be equally as important. No, I'm just kidding.
That will be perfect
Seriously
time when you
impressive.
come in September. So
Yes. Now, I cannot thank you enough, Captain, for joining us.
Oh yeah, man, my pleasure. Love
Stoney,
chilling with
thank you for the
guys.
recipe. Howling, thank you for the beard. And Johnny, thank you for being you. Now, I will allow everyone a chance to plug something. Howling, do you have anything to plug?
Nope.
Excellent. Johnny, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, man, we talked about a lot about how simple it is to just get into growing. So I will plug some sort of fucking just do it yourself, man. Get into it. That's my plug.
Hell yes. Everybody listening to
Yeah.
the Grow podcast, start growing. Stoney.
no plugs for me.
Well,
Just
maybe they're just on the fence.
they're just plug tuning these three up here, so I'm good.
No, I loved it. It was great, Johnny. I was just giving you a hard time. Captain, thank you for
I would've
joining
took
us.
nothing.
What do
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
man.
to plug?
Well, please tune into my own podcast called Cultivation Conversation. If you're into podcasts, also my YouTube channel, which I do promise I'm going to get resurrected, bring it back from the
Hell
dead.
to the yes.
There it is.
We
so-
need it.
Yeah, it's Captain Autoflower on YouTube. You know, can't miss
That's
me.
right.
So
And follow you on Instagram and all that fun stuff.
yep. Instagram.
And
I'm
what's
still
your
there?
all right, Instagram? What's your because I know your account's been deleted like 100 times on Instagram. What is
I know. I don't think I have any like weird underscores or anything going on. Like I got my original account back after
no shit.
it took months of like appeals and shit to Instagram, but they did give it back to me. So it's just Captain Autoflower over on Instagram.
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
And of course my alter ego, Admiral Photo Period.
That's right. Got to have them both. Well, thank you for
Yes.
joining us, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you.
What's your plug, Rev?
I got shit.
There it is. Thanks. Thank you for that. And thanks for listening, everybody. Peace.
See ya.